LeBron, the sense I get, Stephen A., Molly, when I watch LeBron is that he's toying with the world, with the rest of the NBA, certainly the Eastern Conference, with all of us who watch, who talk about it, with the fans. He's toying with everybody. He's so much better than the next best player. Apologies to Greg Popovich and what he said about Kawhi. Kawhi should be the best player in the world, but he's not. And it's not close. It's never been close between Durant and LeBron, Steph and LeBron, Westbrook, Hart. It's not close. He has put such distance between himself and everybody else. Why? First of all, the basketball IQ in a package like that, a guy who can score the way he can, who can defend 5 positions, basically at an elite level, most of them, the way he can, who can pass with the best of them. And when I say the best of them, I don't mean in the league currently. I mean whoever lived. When you watch LeBron pass the ball, you think of Magic and Bird and the greatest passers, Jason Kidd, the greatest passers who ever lived, but in a 6'8", 250-pound frame. I mean, it's ridiculous. And when I say basketball IQ, Stephen A., I mean also the fact that he knows when to rest, how much rest he needs during the season, when he needs to turn it on, in which round of the playoffs, which teammate he needs to get going in a certain playoff game to position his team going forward, how to lead that group of guys, and maybe most of all, Stephen A., he has a Magic Johnson-like ability to control the pace and the flow of every single possession. And it's not just that he has the ability to do it, but he has the IQ to know exactly what is needed to go with the ability to control that pace of and flow of every possession. He is there hasn't been a player who's put this distance between himself and the rest of the pack since Michael Jordan, and that's why people compare him to Jordan.
Well, it helps that the opponents that he's playing against, and I think that's where we have to focus on it right now. We know what he can do. We know what his talents are. We know that everything that we're seeing is legitimate, so it's not to question that. But in these particular playoffs, I mean, you have the Indiana Pacers, and then you have a Toronto Raptors squad that isn't simply that great from the perimeter. You got a guy, DeMar DeRozan. Let me remind you, Max Kellerman, in the offseason, this brother signed for $139 million. And what are his numbers here? What did he shoot last night? What is it, 2 for 11? For crying out loud? Yes, it was, for 5 points. That's what you got for $109 million? That's just blasphemous and embarrassing, and Lord knows what else. He should be ashamed of himself for playing the way that he played. Hopefully he'll get better. But what did I tell you walking into this series, Maximilian, when you sat up there and bloviated about how tough Toronto was going to be? And watch out. I mean, this is the toughest opponent today. You understand? I'm sure you don't, Ronald Reagan. I'm sure you don't. You know, Oliver North. I apologize. Oliver North. I'm sure you don't. North, but here's the reality. Here's the reality of the situation. In the end, what it comes down to answer the questions, as I look at LeBron's performance and I assess what he's been doing during these playoffs, you know what it found me thinking about, Max Kellerman? Found me thinking about life without LeBron. Who is the guy that's going to be able to step up and be this dude? And I got to admit to you, it's something that I'm wondering about, and we've got to talk about that later on in the show, because I need to pause for a second and take some time to think about all the things that LeBron is. LeBron is the best player in the world. He's the greatest ambassador for the game. On top of it all, he's the best conditioned player of any of those guys out there, maybe except for Russell Westbrook, because I have no idea how he played at that pace continuously for 80 games during the regular season and during the playoffs. It's unbelievable, the conditioning that he is. You are right in terms of how adroit LeBron is, in terms of pacing himself, making sure that his conditioning is at a peak level, knowing when to take rest, when to take breaks, and things of that nature. But right now, he looks like he's getting stronger and barely breaking a sweat when everybody else seems overwhelmed, fatigued, and beyond. That's what I'm thinking about right now, Max Kellerman. Who the hell is going to be this guy when he's gone? Because when he's gone, my God, are we going to miss him?